Trump just sat down with the most powerful tech CEOs in the world. Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman from OpenAI, Tim Cook from Apple. They pledged hundreds of billions of dollars to AI data centers across the entire US.
The White House says the United States will win the ongoing race to secure global AI dominance.
This week, President Donald Trump vowed his administration will bolster artificial intelligence development nationwide.
Be building the physical and virtual infrastructure to power the next generation of advancements in AI, and this will include the construction of colossal data centers, very massive structures.
Everybody's talking about AI jobs, regulation, power demand, but almost no one's talking about the hidden business model that's going to explode because of literally this. And it's literally one rental strategy you can actually do right now. So hang out with me today as we're going to discuss how this model is actually a hidden gem across the entire US and how you, as a rental operator, could find the biggest gold mine before anybody else even knows this even exists. All right, if you've been living underneath a rock, you probably haven't heard that the White House and Donald Trump literally had a dinner with some of the top tech leaders talking about massive AI investments. Many of you may already know about Stargate, which has pledged, and I'm literally reading this right now, $500 billion, which is the biggest US AI infrastructure bill literally ever. Microsoft is also working on a data center that is $7 billion, an expansion in Wisconsin Vantage area, which I don't know where that's at, $277 million to San Antonio. So these data centers are literally happening all over the place, and a record $400 billion construction spending in the US literally happening right now. That means all across the US right now, data centers are being put together by a bunch of nerds who are literally creating all these things that for AI. Like, if you're not using AI right now, I don't know what you're doing, but the reason why this is happening is because these data centers need to have somewhere where there's power, they need to cool, they need to they're just like big giant computer center areas, and that's literally what's going to start happening and popping up. In fact, they're happening right now in the most random cities in the entire US. And although there's been some criticism with the data centers because some of them do use a lot of electricity, I'm being told like massive amounts of electricity. Deloitte projects that there will be over 30% power demand increase by 2035, and data centers are quickly becoming the new infrastructure backbone, like power plants and highways and all those other things. So I want you guys to critically think about this as we continue to evolve through AI and all that other stuff. Just like you see power centers all over the place, in the future, which is happening right now, ground dirt is being literally broken and people are creating these things. Those are going to be essentially what everybody sees across the US because AI is literally not going anywhere. In fact, it's coming for your job. And probably mine. So this actually leads me to the hidden demand that I see happening on a regular basis. Each data center literally employs hundreds of people. We're talking about people that come from other countries. We're talking about people that come from other states to work on these projects that are literally city blocks long and have campuses that are actually built on top of them. So think about construction, think about engineers, think about maintenance, think about relocation staff. That is literally happening right now. So many of these workers are coming from out of the region, so local housing cannot absorb this boom. And I know you're thinking, there's so many Airbnbs, everybody wants those, but those are short term and they're not typically 30-day stay plus, which is exactly what we're looking to do here, which is supply housing for the workforce. So midterm rentals, which are typically 1 month to 6 months to 9 months, that is the perfect space for people to be lodging as they're on assignment in these other markets. And that's where I believe the biggest, the massivest, the most importantest position for you all to start making a lot of cash is literally right there. This is the exact same problem that I've been solving for years, where a company needs to find housing in a market, there's nobody there that can supply it, and I come in and supply the housing for all these people that are coming in. Think relocation, think travel nurses. This is stuff I've been doing for literally a decade. This here with AI data centers is no different. It's just a much larger opportunity. The crazy thing about this is I've already built systems and processes to start to scale this exact same situation that is happening right now across the US. And one of the biggest things that you could do as a landlord, it doesn't matter if you have long-term rentals or short-term rentals, is start to actually see these opportunities and see how you can take a struggling property that may not be making very much money as a long-term rental. In fact, who's even making money from a long-term rental today, unless you're buying in the middle of nowhere in the Midwest with no appreciation, which is not my jam. And if you're operating a short-term rental, you're dealing with stuff that's been happening unless you're like a super professional operator that has 37 pickleball courts and you invest $300,000 into a property that is a unique experience, then you're probably still crushing it on Airbnb. But the reality is, most of you watching this right now and most of you that are thinking about this, there's another opportunity that's available, and that is exactly where this workforce housing situation comes in. In fact, I recently had a student of mine who connected with somebody who works at one of these companies, and they're literally needing to find 3,000 properties for a company that's literally building from the ground up. 3,000. Imagine if you're an operator right now and you have access to REIT companies. Big giant REITs are apartment complexes all across the US, or you have a connection with 30 homes. Like, you can actually start to make 2x long-term rental rates for supplying housing for these companies, because guess what? You're providing a service, they need housing, these folks are staying in hotels, and let me tell you, these people are losing their mind in these hotels. That's why we have to adapt and start to think outside the box. How do we make more money from this? I've had students that have got World Series of Poker in Las Vegas contracts, got contracts with Amazon, even Rivian. And one of the craziest things about this is that all you have to do is start to build those relationships with those direct contacts, know exactly how to position yourself, what unique offer do you have, what's the selling point that this company would want to work with you, and how fast can you help them scale. And again, to go back to some of these situations that people have, you have to be thinking outside the box, and this by far is one of the greatest strategies on the planet. In fact, I recently had a guest that actually came from Airbnb, stayed at one of my properties for 2 days. He was actually on assignment at a new super warehouse Walmart that was being built in Lathrop, California. He was coming with 30 employees, and I actually had a conversation with him and said, hey, where are your employees staying? Is there any way that I can provide housing for you? This is exactly what I do. Here's the properties that I have. What are you guys looking for? How close is the job site? How far do you need to be away? And I started to build this relationship. Little did I know that I ended up getting all 30 of their employees to stay at 6 of my properties at $6,500. Do the freaking math on that. That's like literally a lot of money. And they're actually staying at my properties for 9 months with the potential for extension to 18. So you guys, there's so many opportunities to do this, and it doesn't need to be OpenAI or these big giant companies, but that's just to go to show you what's actually happening right now on a large scale and what you can do as an individual operator to start solving these. So the crazy thing about what I've been doing is this same playbook applies to this OpenAI concept. As I mentioned before, the students that I have where I teach them how to do this, how to identify the properties, where these companies are at, where they're going, how to position yourself, and how to actually win them over to be the housing solutions provider for that workforce agency. And what I'm typically seeing right now is 2 to 3x long-term rental rates, which is pretty freaking phenomenal in multiple different markets. And the cool thing about this is that there's a lot of people that are coming, and there's a lot of potential, especially if you have more doors. And if you don't have a lot of doors, that's okay, because you can network with other people, which I think is one of my favorite things. And you can get a contract for say 10 doors and you only own 1, but you have 9 friends that have other properties, and that equals out to be a massive payday, not only for you, but for every single other person. And guess what? You get to charge a referral fee for landing that. You still own the relationship, and you get to place those people, you know, friends' backyards, not in their actual backyards, but you know what I mean, like in the stuff, in the thing and all that stuff. So again, you guys, if you're not thinking about this opportunity right now, you should be. And this is just the large scale potential. I'm talking about like even the smaller mom and pop, small businesses, mid-sized businesses. This stuff is happening all across the US right now. This is just the data center side. This is not construction. This is not business travelers on remote location. This is not travel nurses, travel doctors. There's a plethora of other operators that are doing this exact same thing, and people that are traveling all across the US right now. So I'm urging you guys to think outside the box, get creative, and hopefully this video today was able to segment something so you can see the larger picture. So it's out there, you just gotta run and do it. In 10 years, data centers are going to be literally everywhere. So just think about like power plants on the side of the highway. That's how many of these centers are going to be around everywhere. Most hosts are going to miss it because they're stuck thinking about hobbyists or chasing Airbnb bookings. But if you learn to think like a business owner and start seeing opportunities everywhere, you'll be thinking like a workforce housing behind AI. And that's exactly what I do, and I teach people in AirVenture Academy. I've been helping operators break out of side hustle and start thinking like a real business owner in the midterm rental space that thrive directly on contracts, relocations, and the workforce housing that I think nobody is thinking about. So if you want to learn how to do exactly what I talked about today, check out mtrstrategy.com or join me inside the AirVenture Academy and hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to keep showing you how to spot hidden opportunities that everybody else misses. Links down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I know you got some insight, so we'll see you in the next